Hello, I'm Ed Habershaw, and I'm with the 2017 Commonwealth Coast Conference Baseball Coach of the Year, Eric Cirella. Welcome, Eric.
Thanks, Ed. Thanks for having me.
Back-to-back conference championships for the Seahawks. How sweet was it winning the latest one at home?
It was definitely noticeable in the sense that we could sleep in our own beds every night, and the travel was a lot easier. Winning at home is sweet, but I think that winning a conference championship with a chance to play in a regional and getting your automatic qualifying bid, I would take it if we won it in a parking lot. Years past, I just felt like we didn't do a good job of taking care of business in conference, and we, stacked the deck against us and had to go on the road and travel 2 hours or wake up at 6 o'clock and play at 10 a.m. Losers bracket game, where this year we did take care of business and we got to play a bunch of games at home, which is nice. And then winning in front of your home fans is always great.
And that field, Reynolds Field, had some tremendous improvements over the last couple of years.
Yeah, there's been about $250,000 almost sunk into the field itself and the dugouts and the backstop, bleachers. This most recent project was a sod and clay and facelift kind of for the infield. So it was much needed, and we're excited to get out there in a few weeks.
You got your outfielders, your infielders, your pitchers, your catchers. Talk about the players that will have those roles at the start of your season.
Okay. Obviously, the pitching side of things is the most important. If you can't pitch it, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. And I think you're going to see some familiar faces. The three, starters on the weekend that are going to be returning are going to be Jimmy Fitzgerald, Pat Maybach, and Will Ginsberg, all lefty pitchers. And a few other guys that will jump in the mix there as starters. You see Zach Dionne, Tommy Bellavo, Mike Matthews as a freshman's done a great job. Mike Viveiros is getting built up. He was a little bit sick earlier in the week, so we have some guys to start games, and then I think, towards the end, you're going to see some familiar faces, but you'll also see some new guys. Jonathan Lynch has led our team in appearances the last couple of years, and that should hold true again this season. A kid like Andrew Roman's a freshman. He's going to be in the mix at the back end. You got Josh Monson, Tommy Seaver, so some other familiar faces, and we'll see how it plays out. I mean, it's a long season, and there's going to be a lot of opportunities, but I'm excited to see what this pitching staff brings, because experience-wise and stuff-wise, it's really improved over last year, and I thought last year it was really impressive.
And they'll be pitching to a veteran backstop.
Yes, yep. Christian Vargas will do the catching, and believe it or not, you might see Anthony Gozzo in the mix too, because he's done a great job getting in shape and pushing Christian and really narrowing the gap there. So there'll be some competition at that position. As far as returners, you're going to see Dylan Ketch, Zack Smith in the outfield. Johnny Militano will be our second baseman to start, but he's the guy who can play a number of different positions. Colton Eremian, first team all conference, will be at third base. Alex Perry. And then, we'll have a few freshmen in the mix in the outfield and the infield with Michael DeFusco, Anthony Cieszko, Madden Ward, Dustin Siqueira. So some new guys, and it's a good mix. I think that's what you want every year, is those veterans who you can count on every day. At the same time, you got some new guys in the mix who are hungry and are trying to learn and get better. And then, someone you won't necessarily see in the field that often, but will be a much welcomed back, bat to the lineup will be Tristan Dacey, who missed all last year. So I really like inserting him in the middle of the lineup. He gives our team a much needed power threat and really deepens out the lineup. So I think that you're going to see a stronger offense if we stay healthy than we saw in 2017.
Eric, over the winter, you had a chance to make multiple presentations on your offensive philosophy at the World Baseball Coaches Convention. Give us some insight about that offensive philosophy.
Sure. I was really honored to be able to present at Mohegan for the World Baseball Coaches Convention. I could sit here and talk about it for hours like I did over that weekend, but I think in short, offensively, we're looking to be dynamic, okay? New England has weather conditions. I mean, you're going to see them, I think, when we open up on Saturday. There's going to be, 20-mile-an-hour sustained winds, and if they're blowing in, then we're not going to hit any balls over the fence. So we got to find ways to navigate the bases and make other teams work and kind of exploit weaknesses. So I guess, in short, is we want to be able to score runs in a number of different ways, and there's certain things that we want to value. Quality of bats over, batting average, situational hitting, guys being able to bunt, guys being able to squeeze, and really just, find, every team has a different weakness, and we're trying to find those and exploit those as best that we can to score runs. You've certainly seen over the last couple of years games where we've gotten out hit, but we found ways to win, and I think a lot of that has to do with being able to score runs in a number of different ways.
What goals have you set for the season? How will you measure success for the Seahawks in 2018?
That's a tricky question because a lot of people are going to measure success with, championships or, wins and losses, and coming off a season where you were 36-12, it's really, really difficult to repeat on that exact success, especially this year where I think that our schedule, when you look back at the end, I think our schedule is going to be one of the top 25 schedules in the entire country out of 390 teams. So I don't know if we're going to be able to win the same amount of games, and that's not a knock on my current team because I think that in a lot of ways we have more ability and more talent than last year's team. It's just we're going to have to figure out some things as we go, and Florida is going to be a learning experience. You might see some different lineups and some different personnel, and I think the thing last year was your core group of guys positionally, kind of played every day with Hunter and Colton and Millie and Alex in the infield, and our outfield was pretty fixed, and then it was just DH was kind of a fluctuating position. So this year I think you're going to see some different guys get opportunities, and I think you might see, as opposed to maybe 10 or 11 or 12, you might see 13, 14, 15 guys make substantial contributions on offense. So that's exciting, but at the same time, I'm thinking that, there's a chance in April that our lineup could look completely different than it did on opening day, which doesn't necessarily help me sleep at night, but you have some guys who can fill those roles. It takes some time. I think really one of the reasons we had so much success last year, aside from the pitching, was we had one freshman really in the lineup every single day, and that's a good recipe when you have returners. We have that, and you'll probably see, two freshmen in the lineup every day, and some days you might see a third or a fourth making some contributions. So there's going to be a learning curve, and the coaching staff's ready for it. It's just a matter of taking it one day at a time and trying to learn from mistakes so that we're not making those same mistakes in April that maybe we did in March.
Seeking a CCC three-peat in 2018, follow Salve Regina University Baseball on www.salveathletics.com and on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Thank you, Eric.
Thanks, Ed.